So visualcapitalist.com has a picture depicting the relative amounts of all of the metals that we mine in a given year. And it goes to show just how little bismuth we mine. It's less than the amount of uranium. It's less than the amount of silver we mine, obviously, and just barely over the amount of gold that we mine. And unfortunately, very little of it gets recycled, right? There's some discussion about replacing, to give you an idea how absurd it is, there's discussion about replacing lead ammunition with bismuth, right? Look how much lead there is and look how much bismuth there is. And it's akin to, imagine we had another financial crisis where, remember in 2008 when silver prices crashed significantly. Imagine this next one's even worse and silver goes to shit and people start shooting with silver, right? That would probably make a lot more sense than shooting with bismuth, just given the relative amounts that are produced. We're going to look back at it and go, oh my god, we got to go to our shooting ranges or where they used to dump their spent bullets and look for bismuth. I really think that day is coming. We're going to be looking for all these metals in all sorts of weird places. The other problem is that because so little bismuth or gold or silver or any of the rare earth metals are used in one place, it becomes very impractical to recycle it, right? You're never going to see a microscopic use of iron anywhere, right? So for example, when 9/11 happened, all the steel in the towers, that's probably still in circulation somewhere, right? What might not be still in circulation is all the rare earth metals that were in all the little devices inside the Twin Towers, right? In the computers, in the smoke detectors, the americium in it, and that might be gone for good, right? Because there's so little of it in one place, right? A special case on here is aluminum. Aluminum is actually, as an element, not that rare. What is rare that they didn't depict on here is the energy that goes into turning the aluminum oxide in the ground into aluminum. Anyways, gives you an idea of how impractical it is to turn to use bismuth in applications that might use some other element. Now, the other misconception that is sometimes thrown around is that we'll run out of these metals in the earth, as if every atom in the earth is used up. Now, to give you an idea of how absurd that is, if you just look outside of wherever you live, look at the ground, if there's grass or gravel or just vegetation and there's rocks around, every one of those rocks that you see is about 4 parts per billion gold and about 8 parts per billion bismuth. Now, that rock might not have a lot of gold or bismuth, but as a whole, all the rocks in your neighborhood probably have a sizable amount of all of these metals, right? It's whether or not at that concentration it's worth digging it out, right? Some landfill material might have a higher concentration of metals than that, right? Just because of how wasteful we have been with all the metals here.